So Costco, do I love their cake? I do. Their chocolate cake. Do we love they have so
Muffins?
they have so many great items. Costco does some things so well. One thing that we would tell you is that healthcare is not Costco's strong point.
Maybe not their forte.
And I'm not going to speak for like the eye side because I'm not an eye doctor, but from an audiologist standpoint of what we see happening, and we'll just talk about quality control. There's just some things going on there that are difficult. And as I was talking to this patient, she's got hearing devices she's inherited. She then went to the warehouse, Costco, and said, hey, I've received these from a family member. Can you check my hearing? They do the hearing test, and then they upload those results into the device. They don't change anything out. The wires are the same, which she comes in and the wire is totally off. I'm looking at the tip, and they've got the occluding tip on there, a power dome on there. She's an open fit candidate, so the physics and the physical fit part of her, she just was never going to be able to succeed with this device that was kind of changed for her, but pretty much not changed for her. And so it was very difficult for me to just talk about it because we don't want to talk negative about anyone. First of all, I had to applaud her for wanting to fix her hearing. She recognizes, I'm not hearing the way I should. She started talking to family members. She was open about her impairment, her problem. I was really excited about that she was so humble to talk to people and that she sought out help. All of those things are really good. She just was doing it the wrong way, and she didn't know. She was just doing her best, And
we know why people go there.
Tough.
It's money. It's cost.
Money. Yeah.
I mean, obviously. And hearing aids can be super expensive, and people have this idea in their mind that, man, I can't afford hearing aids.
And it might even be the perception of cost. They perceive it will be
There you go,
less.
because a clinic like ours, and we can't speak for every clinic, but a clinic like ours has products that are in the same price range as Costco. But you can also get a professional doctor's care.
Right.
You can get professional care for the same price as you can at Costco.
So you can get a hearing device or a treatment plan, but with that treatment plan comes hearing health services, not just I'm a consumer and I bought something. So it's interesting. People always feel like I'm in a warehouse, I must be getting the best deal ever, right? And I think that's what happens.
Well, and Costco has good stuff. Like you said, the cheesecakes are great. The muffins are awesome. The produce is wonderful.
Did you know I bought a mattress there?
No.
I'm just saying.
But I mean, I bought discount tickets to a water park at Costco. They sell all sorts of stuff.
Disneyland.
And you think, I'm getting a really good product for a really good price.
The reason is because most things are really, really great value.
And honestly, there are lots of people that I'm sure are successful with their Costco hearing aids. I'm sure that's true, especially people that are savvy and young and they know how to troubleshoot things themselves and maybe a simple hearing loss.
Right.
And maybe they were fortunate that they had a really good provider there and it actually was fitted right.
Exactly.
But you're rolling the dice a little bit because
even from the get-go. I mean, even from the very beginning when they're tested, you're rolling the dice.
Yeah, because they're not a hearing clinic. And so too often we see tests that are not accurate, we see fittings that are not accurate, we see people that have tried to save money but ended up doing it wrong and then have to redo it and spend more money. So there's some things to look out for sure. Yeah,
it's interesting, the old adage, you get what you pay for. So you have to be careful. You only have 2 ears. They're with you throughout your life and you want to take care of them.
Yeah.
And when we talk about the relationship between the ear and the brain and maintaining that deep neural network, that deep ability to process correctly, it turns out that getting the most accurate prescription to those ears and the most accurate, the best function possible is not just for the betterment of how you connect with people, it's actually maintaining who you are through the years. And so doing it the right way is a really, really good idea. And in fact, in my opinion, it's a must do. If you start with the right test, and you have an accurate prescription, you're already that much further along. And then if you start with the best device for you at the lowest cost, so the best value, you're off and running, at a totally higher level, and you're going to be able to produce and become and maintain who you are, at a much better level. So.
Yeah, I agree. We applaud anyone getting help with their hearing. First and foremost, we really like it when people are proactive about getting help.
Right.
And good for you. But we also feel strongly that it should be done right. And that's what we strive to do. We strive to do it right. And when it's done right, that's when people are really successful and really happy.
Have you had this patient where they've been to the warehouse, they got the hearing devices from Sam's Club or Costco or something like that, and then they move here, and their friend says, "Oh, I see, Dr. Whitaker, and I'm at the hearing and balance doctors," and they show up, and you look at their devices and you say, "I would love to help you, but because you purchased them at Costco, they private label these devices, and you cannot even connect them to the computer and help them. Like, even if you do a great hearing test on this new patient, you can't even load and counsel and professionally take care of this patient because the device is private labeled and locked. You can't even get into it."
Yeah, traditionally they've locked their hearing aids
so
to
it's
doctors.
it's really a tough thing that some of the products that they sell there, you cannot just go anywhere and get help. You are locked in with Costco.
And another kind of good thing to note is there's only about 5 or 6 major manufacturers of hearing aids. None of those 5 or 6 major manufacturers are currently in Costco.
Interesting.
In the past, they have been.
Yeah.
Phonac's been in there before.
Yeah.
Resound's been in there before. But currently, there are no major manufacturers selling products in Costco.
Very interesting. So yeah, I think Costco in many ways has been a good thing for us, because anytime someone's going to get help and anytime they're talking about their hearing and they're worried about their hearing health, we love it.
Yeah.
It's so good. And then to take it a step further, if you want to be more of a performance patient where you're concerned with how am I going to perform for the next 5 to 7 years, Costco's probably not the best fit for most of those type of patients. For some, maybe. But by and large, if you don't have the right service, if you're not being treated the right way with regards to your hearing health and how you're performing, you're not probably getting the bargain that you were hoping for, because some things in the warehouse, a great bargain, great value. When it comes to hearing health, we would say be cautious with that one.
I recently had a patient, Dr. Luke and Gay, they came in from Costco, and they brought in their hearing test. And I had done a hearing test, and they said, "These are different." And I looked at them, and my test showed normal hearing in the low frequencies.
Oh, in the bass tones.
Bass tones normal, dropping out in the high frequencies, most common type of hearing loss that we see.
Sure.
She showed me the Costco test, and it had a huge hearing loss in the low frequencies. And I said, "Well, that's kind of odd that they're showing a big hearing loss here where I had you normal." And I asked, "How did they do the test? Did they put in a little earbud in your ear?" And they said, "Oh yeah, they put in just this little earbud, put it in my ear." And I said, "I know what happened. That little earpiece that went in your ear wasn't occluding enough. It wasn't blocking out the hearing.
Blocking out the warehouse sounds.
So when they were testing the hearing, it gave a false hearing loss in those low frequencies." And it was unfortunate. It was just a classic example of an inaccurate test because it was performed wrong. The earbud wasn't correct that got put in the ear. And so if they were to get a hearing aid based off of that hearing test, the hearing aid would be wrong because the test was wrong. And
they'd be hearing way too much background noise all the time,
So anyway, it was just an interesting example of how you want to do things right.
Yeah. Getting that test and having it done the right way by a professional under a more appropriate setting.
Pretty important.
It's very, very important, yeah.